Hello there, Mandy here. Restorative Grief with Mandy Capehart is not just a podcast. It's also a book, a free online grief group, and a one-on-one private coaching practice. If you are interested in learning more, visit mandykapehart.com to find out how restorative grief can help you heal heart, mind, body, and spirit. Welcome back to Restorative Grief with Mandy Capehart. You are listening to episode 208, titled When Feelings Get Loud, Helping Kids Understand Grief and Hard Moments. Well, it has been about a month or so since we've been back in school. And if your kids are anything like the kids I know, there has already been at least one moment of tension, frustration, hurt, anger, or sadness. And here's the thing, those moments aren't bad, they're just big. And when feelings get too big, kids and parents need tools to handle them in ways that build connection instead of shutting it down. So today, I want to share a practice that you can listen to with your kids. It's about learning to notice what emotions feel like in the body, giving ourselves permission to say, this is valid, and finding ways to ask what we need when grief or hard feelings show up. So whether you're a parent, a teacher, a kid listening right now, or if you're listening for your own inner younger self, this episode is for you. I want to invite you into a little bit of a different kind of conversation today. This one is for you and for the younger version of you as well. And if you're listening with your kids, it's for them too. So let's start with a pause because we know this work can be a little scary. Go ahead and take one deep breath in and let it all the way out. Good. Now, imagine for a moment that you and I are sitting together with your younger self, that kiddo that still lives inside you somewhere. Maybe they're only a few years younger than you are now, or maybe they're much smaller, like the version of you that used to play outside all day or curl up with picture books. Whoever they are and wherever they are welcome here. And now I'm going to talk to them. Hey, kiddo. I'm so glad you're listening here today. My name is Mandy. Thank you for trusting me with a little bit of your attention. You know, before I was a grief coach and podcaster and an author, I spent years working with kids. I worked at summer camps, after school programs, and now I coach soccer too. So I've had the chance to see what life looks like through a lot of kids' eyes. And do you know what I've learned? Well, one thing I've learned is that grown-ups just don't understand. In fact, a lot of the time we don't. We forget what it feels like to be your age. And that's really frustrating, isn't it? But here is the important part. Even if adults don't always understand, they can learn to understand if they keep compassion at the center. See, when people feel uncomfortable or upset, they might push their compassion aside. And instead, their frustration or anger gets louder than their care. That is true for grown-ups, and sometimes it's true for kids as well. And when that happens, connection breaks. Instead of feeling seen, we feel more alone and more misunderstood. But there is another option. We can pump the brakes, we can pause, and we can choose compassion. And it is a choice. One of the best tools we have to make that choice is already built with us. It's our bodies. Think about this for a second. Our bodies are often the very first to tell us that something is wrong. Maybe our stomach feels knotted up, or our face might get hot. Sometimes our throat might feel tight. Sometimes we notice tears before we even know why we might be crying. That is how our body speaks. So when we slow down enough to notice these signals, these stories from our body, we start to understand, oh, this is what grief feels like in my body. Or this is what being misunderstood feels like. And here's the key. Anytime you notice those signals in your body, you have permission to say, this is valid. Even if part of you wants to shove it away, even if you're tempted to say, this is not a big deal. because your body is not lying to you. It's telling you the truth of your experience. And this is especially important for kids who are grieving. Sometimes adults think art or play therapy is the only way to help kids open up, and those can be wonderful tools. But there's another way. We can help kids notice the wisdom of their own bodies in hard moments. It's just like learning to honor hunger and fullness cues. When a kid says they're full and we as adults force them to keep eating, we are teaching them to ignore their body's signals. And over time, that weakens their trust in their own wisdom. Grief works the same way. When kids are told, "You're fine, don't cry," or "It's not that bad," we as adults are teaching them to silence and ignore the very signals that help them heal. When we pause, however, we notice what our body is saying and we name it. We're strengthening that trust. We are saying, my body is showing me where I'm hurting. This means my pain is real. And if it's real, it matters. So here's where compassion comes back in. Once we recognize those signals from our body, we can share them. We can give the people around us a map. Maybe it sounds like, my chest feels really heavy. Can you just sit with me? Will adults always get it right the first time? No, they will not. But just as no one learns how to walk or read in a single day, adults don't always learn compassion in one try. But if you keep sharing and if they keep practicing, connection grows. And that is how healing happens together. So here's the truth, kiddo, and grown-ups, this is for you too. When we ignore our body's signals, we drift further from healing. When we notice and honor our body's signals, we stay connected to ourselves. And when we share our body's signals with compassion, we stay connected to each other. Listen, this isn't easy, but you've got this. And so do the people who love you. So take one more deep breath in and let it out. And remember that younger you and your body are always here in the present, guiding you back to what's real and what matters. And that is wisdom you can trust. Thank you for listening to episode 208 of Restorative Grief. I hope this practice helps you and your kids and your inner child notice what emotions feel like in the body and to trust that those signals matter. It's surprising to realize how often we suppress ourselves, isn't it? And yet, every time we notice it, we give ourselves a chance to respond differently and repair with our kids, our inner kids, and our adult selves too. If this is the first time you've listened to the show, I'm so glad that you're here. And if you found this helpful, please subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, share this episode with another parent, and let yourself lean into compassion when feelings get loud for yourself or for others. It is worth the work. Thank you, of course, to my patrons for the show, for supporting this vision and continuing to help flood our communities with grief literacy. It is making a difference. And as always, before we go, one last thing. Please remember, the only solution for grief is to do the work of grieving. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next week.